Brilliant. Okay,
Mhm.
team. Happy Thursday. We're almost at the end of another wonderful week.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to do some exercises with you. Please make
Mhm.
sure you have a nice clear space to exercise in, nothing to step on or trip over. It's important to have a sturdy chair, right? Nothing with wheels. Helpful to have sturdy footwear or bare feet, so you're less likely to slip and slide. And then today we will use a weight.
Mhm.
And that weight can be whatever you would like: soup can, water bottle, dumbbell, bag of rice, whatever works. And then a stretchy band of some variety. Again, a reminder to always have a quick look over it for any rips or tears. And then it will be helpful to have your water bottle close by as well. I have a feeling you're going to get quite sweaty today. But at the very least, it's getting hotter and hotter out. So let's stay on top of that hydration, because staying hydrated is so important for your overall well-being, your body's ability to move, your brain's ability to think. Water is super important. Okay. All right, let's start with getting into our breathing pattern. You're welcome to join me in placing a hand on your belly or not. But we're going to breathe in through the diaphragm. So fill up the belly as we breathe in. And then we're breathing out through pursed lips. Long and steady. There we go. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And our goal will be to breathe in for 4, exhale for 6. So breathe in 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
5, 6. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. You can breathe normally. And we're going to work on our shoulder movement for our warm up today. Shoulders and getting that thoracic spine or middle part of your back moving. Remember, that's the part of your spine that your rib cage attaches to. So once we get it moving, it does help with that rib mobility as well. So we're going to breathe in as we either lift up a straight arm. Again, we want that extension through the spine. If a straight arm overhead doesn't work for you, then think about touching thumb to shoulder. We will alternate arms. Good. And again, get that chest elevating as we lift up the arm. So we're not just bending the shoulder, right? We want to reach so we get that middle part of our back working. So breathe in and lift. Breathe out and down. Remember, you can go straight arm up, breathe in and down as we breathe out. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and down. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and down. Once more. Breathe in and lift. That chest moving too. Breathe out and down. Good. Okay, now we're going across the body, like you're patting yourself on the back for a job well done. Once again, it might be feel a little bit tougher to breathe in just because we are adding a little bit of rotation here. So if you'd like, you can now breathe out as you rotate, breathe in as you bring the arm back. So that'll probably feel like a more manageable breathing pattern for you. And again, don't just get the arm moving. Reach across, but get your shoulder turning slightly. There we go. So reach across, but turn your upper body slightly. There we go. You should feel this a little bit in the middle part of your back. Good. So again, might be helpful to breathe out as we reach across this time. Breathe in to reset. Excellent job, everybody. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now we've got our arms by our side, palms facing up. This is the how big was the fish, but rather than moving our arms out, it's just this rotation. So try to keep your elbows tucked in. We're going to breathe in, pull apart our hands. How big was the fish? And then breathe out to bring the hands back in. Okay. The fish was very small. That's not a good fishing trip. Breathe in, pull the hands apart. This is a good reminder if you enjoy fishing, probably a good idea to get your license soon. There we go. So breathe in, pull apart the hands. Breathe out and bring the hands back in. Breathe in, pull the hands apart. Breathe out, hands back in. Breathe in, pull the hands apart. Breathe out, hands back in. 3. Good. Make sure the chest kind of comes forward a little bit as you pull apart the hands with that middle part of our back working. And 1. This is the last one. There we go. You can shake it out and roll your shoulders back a couple times. Okay. Hopefully we got our upper backs loosened up a little bit, or at least warmed up. Now let's get our legs going too. So we're going to step forward 1 foot at a time. You can do this seated or standing. If you are going to choose to stand, please make sure you have balance support within grabbing distance. And with our arms, we're going to reach across to touch our stepping leg. Good. So stay up tall through the torso, step a foot forward, reach across. Step and reach. Step and reach. So we're starting to add in more and more movement. Please make sure you're keeping it doable as well as challenging. And make sure we're keeping track of our breathing pattern. Even as you start to breathe a little bit harder, you still need to breathe out through pursed lips. Think about trying to breathe steadily rather than panting in our huff and puff. All right, we're going to change up the arm movement in 3, 2, 1. Now the arm is reaching straight ahead. Opposite arm and leg moving. Both push ahead as we stay up tall through our torsos. Right? Don't get slumped over. Stay tall. We're going to change just our foot pattern. We're going to change to lifting or marching our knees in 3, 2, 1. We're now lifting our knee and pushing our hand forward. So lift the knee, push the hand forward. Lift the knee, push the hand forward. Good. Maintain that breathing pattern, everybody, as best you can. Okay, we're going to change up the pattern of our arms in 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to open up the arm as we lift the knee up. Remember, you are in charge of your intensity, whether you need to slow it down or speed it up. We are still more in the warm-up phase, even though we're starting to challenge our breathing more and more. So at this point, you still want it to feel more doable than challenging. Okay, we're going to keep opening up one arm at a time, but we're going to change our foot patterning. One foot's going to step out to the side in 3, 2, 1. Foot steps out. So foot and arm now reach out to the side. Good. Maintain that breathing pattern. Great job, team. Excellent. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. We're going to take a short rest in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now remember, some of you may need to maintain some slight movement. That's what feels best for you. Some of you, I'd encourage you to get into our recovery position, right? Chest up, hands or forearms on the thighs. Remember, as we challenge our breathing and you're not able to do that longer, slower breath, you're still breathing out through pursed lips, even if it's a bit sharper, shorter, like a. Okay. There we go. All right. Thank you. Now, if you still need a little bit of time to catch your breath, please feel free to do so. It's also a great time to grab a sip of water. We're going to do another little stint of different movements back to back rather than our more intense intervals today. And then we'll move on into our strength. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is one foot is going to come upwards. The knee goes out. It's kind of like you're trying to pull your foot up onto your thigh. Okay. So it's a lift and rotate that hip out. All right, so we can start with this movement. So go ahead, kind of lift and turn that leg outwards. The foot comes in. Almost like you're going to try to put on your socks. Okay, one at a time. All right, now the arms are going to reach across. So it's opposite arm and leg moving. And then just a super quick reminder for everybody while we do this, that this is a virtual recorded class. And that means any noise on your end, we can all hear. So both just for your privacy and to not disrupt the class. If there is going to be any noise, please just double check that you are on mute. We'd all super appreciate that. All right, we're going to change up our movement here. Next, we're going to just kick our leg out in front of us in 3, 2, 1. Our leg is now kicking. Our arm stays the same. So our arm is still reaching across as we kick our leg out in front of us. We're still breathing out through pursed lips. Stay up tall through the torso. Great job, everybody. Keep up that breathing. And we're going to change the whole movement pattern, arms and legs, in 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Now we're going to lift our arm up And we're going to tap the foot outwards. And notice that I'm trying to pull my knee in. Okay, so it's a reach up. The knee collapses in as the toe goes out. Now, start off slow, play around with the movement. For some of you, this is going to be a very tight movement where you're going to go rotate. What? My leg doesn't do that. And some of you are going to find it quite easy. That's okay. Play around with the movement. Find where your exercise zone is here. Tap that foot out. Reach up the arm. Good work. Remember to keep breathing out through pursed lips. Good job, everybody. All right, we're going to change the movement pattern in 3, 2, 1. Now we have got our feet out in front of us and we're pulling one foot back at a time. If you're choosing to stand, pretend you're trying to kick yourself in the bum. So you pull your heel up towards your bum, okay? Now the arms are just going to bend. We're bending at the elbows, pulling one foot back at a time. Keep breathing out through pursed lips, team. Good work. That's it. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. Elbows bend. And we're going to have a short rest in 3, 2, 1, and rest there. So again, some of you may need to maintain some slight movement to feel more recovered. Some of you are going to need to go just right into that recovery position. Just focus on your breathing. So that was certainly fun for cardio today. Kind of back to back. Dorothy's happy because she missed half of it. There we go. How's everybody feeling?
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, remember you can always give me kind of a thumbs up or a thumbs down as well. I can see all your videos, or you're more than welcome to say it out loud. That's always a good test for me. It tells me that you are in fact breathing.
Except from 2 days ago.
You're still sore from Tuesday?
Oh, Lord.
I thought I was doing lots of exercises, but apparently not enough.
Well, don't feel bad about that. I'm pretty sneaky that way. I just sneak it right in, and you end up feeling like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I had all those muscles. It's all different stuff, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well done for still showing up today, even though you're sore. That's really well done. And it's only gonna be worse tomorrow.
Yeah. Then I go out and do my other regular activities during the day, so I don't really get a chance to rest.
Yeah, there you go. It's good. Sometimes you need the rest, but increasing your activity overall, that's a really good step. Well done.
No pain, no gain.
No discomfort, no gain. Okay, Dream Team, we are going to shift into our strength exercises. So what I'm going to ask you to do is something that almost looks a little funny. And what it is I'm going to get you to kind of stretch. You're going to be at the edge of your seat. You're going to have one foot out to the side and one foot normal. Okay, so even if it's out here, that's fine. The leg that is directly underneath you, that's the leg that's going to do most of the work. So you've either got this leg bent and it's just out to the side, or you can straighten it a wee bit. Okay, but all we're doing from here, if you're staying seated, you rock forwards a little ways and you push down to that leg, and you're going to get a little bit of a stretch in that leg. So again, it can be this position or here. Okay, or you're standing, and again, we put most of the weight on that front leg. If you've got it out to the side like this, then we push up, and you're going to travel. Your body's going to travel a little bit, but then we go to sit back down. You're sitting down mostly with one leg. Now, be warned, that is tougher on your balance. So please be prepared to have something within grabbing distance, or stand up with a little bit of support. Again, body rocks, shifts to the side, and then we shift it back to sit down on more of the one leg. Okay, let's give it a go. And again, and pull that leg in. Okay, especially if you're first starting. If it feels really tight or it feels sore on the knee, pull it in. Create just an L shape here. Okay, this will be easier on this knee. There we go. So slow and controlled. Again, you can do it seated. Seated here, we just push through that leg and then rest. Kind of rock forward a little bit, push through the leg, and then rest. Okay, 2 more if you can. Do what is challenging but doable for your body. And we're just making that one leg work harder than the other. And that was 1. Rest. Before we move to the next side, is there any questions or clarification on this exercise now that you've tried it out? No? Okay. Awesome. If that changes, please let me know. So again, we can either have that leg pulled out to the side, or do I even have enough room? I don't have enough room on this side, so I'm just going to keep it like this. And we step up and then down. So I've created this L shape, doing most of the work with this leg here. And then back down with control. Good. So we're nice and slow in this movement, especially on the way down. Our balance is off because our stance is different. So really make sure we're trying not to plop on the way down. We go down with control. So push through that one foot and down. Three more if you can. Good. 2. And 1. All right, rest. Might need some water after that. Might need to stretch your leg muscles after that one. Excellent job, team. All right, you're still looking quite fresh. That's good. So now, grab your weight. Good. And with the weight, what we're going to do is hold the weight at the shoulder. We're going to lift our opposite knee and press the weight up at the same time. So as the weight goes up, our opposite knee lifts. And then we lower down as a team. You can have your arm closed or opened. Just depends on what your shoulder likes best. So push the weight up, lift the opposite knee, and down. Up. And down. Up. Down. Good. With control. Think of a up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3. 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 2 more. Up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3. Last one. Up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3, and switch. Excellent job, everybody. Set up. Again, it's arm and opposite leg. And we're going up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3. 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 2 more. Up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3. Last one. Up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3, and rest. Great job, everybody.
I graduated
Yeah.
from my can of olives.
Hey, there you go. That's
Easier to
awesome.
hold on to.
Yeah, the smaller grip for sure. A bit
Yeah.
easier. Well done. Lots of hard work. Okay, we're gonna do a couple calf raises next. The seated option, you can either put your weight, if you have 2 or 1, you can kind of push down. You can put your weight on your thigh, or you can kind of just lean forward and push down with your hands. And the calf raise is lifting the heels off the ground, pause, and back down nice and slow. In the seated version, you really push hands or weights onto the thighs. Now, if you're going to do the standing, the movement is the same. Hold on to balance support because this is going to be a balance exercise. And we're going up on the toes and then back down with control. And what I want to see is I want you pushing through your toes, and I want your ankles to stay straight so they're not collapsing outwards or inwards. And also don't try to go up don't try to extend as high as you can so that this pops forward, right? We just go up to where your feet say, good, that's my limit, pause, and then down. Good. So up and then down, 2, 3. Up, 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 down, 2, 3. 3 more. Up, down, 2, 3. Up, down, 2, 3. Last one. Up, down, 2, 3. And rest. Woohoo! That was super fun. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, dream team. Now you need, I'm going to use my other band. You need your stretchy band. Okay. With the stretchy band, we're going to do 2 different things. You're going to have the band straight in front of you, and you are going to pull the band apart, back in, and without losing all the tension. So you don't want your band to go really loose. You're going to lift your arms up to where you can and back down. So if you can only lift part way, great. You can lift all the way up, great. Lift to where you can. So pull apart. Back in, lift up, lift down. Pull apart. Back in, lift up, and down. Pull apart. Back in, lift up, lower 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 down, and last one, pull apart. Back in, lift up, lower down, and rest. Nice. Now, did that bother anybody in the neck?
Yes.
So 2 things to look at. 1,
Arms.
yeah, if you feel on the arms, that's great. Some people will feel that more in their neck. And 2 quick things I want you to look at is 1, are you shrugging at the shoulders? And does it feel like you're straining to pull apart the band? That tells you to loosen off the band and start your band position a bit lower. Don't worry about how far apart you pull the band, right? The end range doesn't matter. Where you feel it in your body matters. So starting position lower, and think about pulling apart just to where you feel your shoulder blades tighten up. Right? So you just pull apart just to where you feel your shoulder blades tighten up. Then you rest, lift up part way, and back down. And again, really think about those shoulder blades. Don't allow the shoulders to come up to the ears. Okay, So I'd ask you be aware of that. See if that helps. If it doesn't, let me know. Okay. We're going to repeat all of that, guys. Oh boy.
Good.
Okay. So the first exercise we did was a sit to stand, but it was a funny one. I'm going to put the band to the side. That funny one where you either have your leg outstretched to the side or the knee stays bent, but it's still pulled out to the side. And we want to work more on this leg that's just underneath you. And either seated, you push, rock forward and push down, or we stand all the way up. Good. And then down with control. And then up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. We've got 4 more. Push through that foot, whether you're staying seated or standing up. Remember, you can have your arms wherever is most comfortable for you. My default is just in front of me. It's okay if yours is not. 2 more. Push through that foot. And then nice and controlled on the way down. And once more. And down. Now, before we do the other side, I think this is a great learning opportunity. I was feeling discomfort in my knee. But for me, I know that discomfort is actually being caused by my quad muscle, that top thigh muscle, being too tight. And it's tight to the point where it's being grumpy to work. So this is not certainly not all knee pain is caused by this. That's not what I'm saying. But an easy fix of some of our knee discomfort can just be getting that rolling pin and rolling out that muscle. Even use your water bottle, roll out the muscle. Or my tried and true method, take my thumb, dig it into the muscle till it's uncomfortable. And then I kind of bend and straighten my leg a couple times. And then I find a new spot. Okay. So if you feel some discomfort in the knee, sure, it might be, some old scar tissue, little bit of arthritis, just a typical ache and pain. But it might actually just be that your muscle is so tight, it's tugging on the knee. So I'd encourage you to try massaging out that muscle a little bit. Okay. Moving on to the other side. If you have any questions on that, please feel free to ask me. Legs right underneath. Push through it to either stay seated or to stand up. And then we're back down. And even just poking at that muscle, that was sore. Sometimes I have to cause myself pain to make you feel better and to learn something. I'm okay with it. Fair is fair, right?
You're dedicated.
I know it's for my own good. Good job, team. Really push through that leg. Push through. And also some knee discomfort. Anytime we do a sort of squat movement or sit stand movement, drive the hips back. Right? And then before we stand up, you can rock forwards, make the hips take some of the work off of your knees. Good. Once we're finished our second set of all of our strength exercises, We'll do a little bit of steady state cardio, and then I'll talk about, I see Valcine is on, which is great. We'll talk about the diastasis and hernia and what to do, a little bit about that kind of stuff. Are you okay? Hey, Dawn, that was a painful looking face.
Yawning.
Oh, okay. Yawns are good. Yawns are okay. Last one. And rest. Good job, team. Once again, we grab our weight or whatever it is you are using for a weight. We're going to press the weight up and lift the opposite knee. Then it's down, 2, 3. Up, 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 and down, 2, 3. Rest. Switch sides. Ready? Other arm. And up. Down, 2, 3. Up, 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 and down, 2, 3. Rest. Good. Partway through, I haven't mentioned water, but great idea to take a sip of water before we finish our last two. And then next is our calf raises. So remember, if you're staying seated with your weight or hands, pushing those thighs as you slowly lift the heels. Otherwise, we're standing up. Remember, this is harder on your balance, so please hold on to some balance support. And we're just lifting the heels, going up onto the toes with control, and then down, 2, 3. Ready, up, down, 2, 3. 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 Up, down, 2, 3, up, down, 2, 3, up, down, 2, 3, up, down, 2, 3, up, 2 more, down, 2, 3, up, and down, 2, 3, up. Now we go down and rest. Now you want your stretchy band. Okay, team, with the stretchy band. Remember, if you're feeling into your neck, I want you to try a lower position, and please do not go to the point where you're straining. We want quality over quantity. And in this case, we want the right muscles to be working rather than trying to do as much range of motion as possible. So we are pulling apart, back in, and then lift to where you can. Feel like you're making your shoulder blades do all the work rather than shrugging your shoulders to your ears, right? Pull apart, back, up, and then down. Pull apart. Only go to where you feel your shoulder blades doing the work, and then back in and up and down. Pull apart, back in, up, down, pull apart, back in, up, down, pull apart, back in, up, down, and pull apart, back in, up, down. Rest. Nice work, team. Nice work. All right. I'm going to ask that we continuously move for 3 minutes, and that can look however it needs to for you, whether that's lifting one heel at a time and swinging the arms, whether that's stepping forward, whether it's marching. Maintain some movement for 3 minutes. Deal? Get ready. All right. Timer starts now. Again, a light bit of movement. And while we do a little bit of movement, we will kind of just go over a little bit of introductory on our question about diastasis. That's that separation of the abdominis recti muscle, or recti abdominis muscle. So that's where it separates. And then a hernia is where usually a part of our intestinal tract kind of pokes through a part of the abdominal wall. Okay, there are different areas, there's different classifications of hernias, but that's the general gist of it. And it does make it tricky to build up your core strength, because core strength is about creating a little bit of intra-abdominal, so within your abdominal cavity, a little bit of pressure to stiffen your spine. Well, with a hernia, too much pressure will further encourage that bulging of your intestinal tract. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, and so for some people, certain movements kind of aggravate it worse, like any type of flexion, crunching movement can flare it up in some people. Sometimes it's that rotation. So really, falling back on our motto of challenging but doable is really key, because you want to find that careful balance of engaging the abdominal muscle without creating so much pressure in your abdominal cavity that it makes your hernia worse or encourages the hernia to push against, which can be quite uncomfortable and sometimes painful. So actually, we've only been moving for 2 minutes. I'm going to stop you there. And we're going to revisit our core exercise that we often do, and we're going to really focus on doing it correctly. So we're sitting at the edge of our seat. And I want you to think about staying tall. So think about your hips and the top of your head. Pretend there is a board, a plank attached from your head down to the bottom of your back. Okay? And we want that plank to be glued there so that we cannot round. That plank is preventing that. We stay up tall. And I'm going to ask you to slowly rock yourself backwards. But you're going so slowly and just focused on a little bit of tension through the belly button. So we start to slowly fold backwards. Remember, there's that plank of wood glued from back of our head to the back, lower back. And go just to where you feel that tightening in your core. Might only be an inch, 3 inches back, doesn't matter. And then slowly come up. So again, finding that balance of I'm creating some tension in the muscle without creating a lot of pressure in the abdominal cavity. So again, rock back, just where you feel that tightening, and then come up. Now, the other way to help regulate the amount of pressure in our abdominal cavity is through our breathing. So if we focus on breathing in, or sorry, breathe out as you go back, and then breathe in as you come back up, or vice versa, whatever works best for you. But can you maintain your breathing, which is really hard to do when you start talking about tightening up the core? Now, who feels tension around their belly button? Couple of you feel tension around the belly button. Who feels nothing? Anybody? All right, there you go. Very, very good.
Am I on mute? No. Okay, good.
Just means that there's 2 more people in the meeting.
Okay, and rest. The second movement to help you work on your core without a lot of bending through the back, and to start thinking about engaging that, is if you're going to stay seated, you're just going to lean forward and you're going to think about gently pushing your body into your thighs. But this one's really helpful to stand up. You can do the back of your chair or the seat of your chair, but I'm just going to ask you to put your hands down. Now, what's key here is if you feel so tight that your back's rounded and your head drops down, this is not good for your breathing. You got to be able to keep a flat back. So if the seat of your chair isn't good enough, you got to use the back of your chair. Okay? So make sure you have a flat back. And then all I'm going to ask you to do is think about trying to pull your hip bones towards your belly button this way. Another one we tell people to engage the pelvic floor is if you've ever tried to, if you like really have to go pee and you're holding it in, that little bit of tightening, that's your pelvic floor, just to give you that visual. So can you tighten, and can you really slowly lift one hand off the chair without anything else moving? And this one takes a lot of focus because you don't want any shifting, zero movement except through that arm. Be super, super picky here. Don't allow the hips to move. Don't allow your shoulders to shift. Breathe in as you lift the hand. Breathe out as you put it back down, because we do not want to hold our breath here. So we want that little bit of tightening with that neutral spine. That means flat back, no rounding. And the trick is just to do what you can. So maybe we only start with 3 and then you feel fatigued and then you stop there. Because core exercises, if you kind of fight through them with a hernia, the more you struggle, the more straining there is in the abdominal area, and that's not good for a hernia. Okay, and one more. And then relax. Okay, did everyone feel a little bit of tightening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So those are 2. If you've got tend to have a sore back, if you tend to have any pelvic floor struggles, any sort of hernia, those 2 core exercises are actually super great to practice. They keep your spine neutral. You're really focused on what your core is doing without too much of that abdominal pressure. So I'm going to leave those 2 with you guys. We're going to shift to stretching. Let's pull up an elbow and have at it with your questions. Let me have it.
I have one, Jill. It's about shrugging shoulders. I shrug my shoulders all the time. Is that related to breathing? Thank you.
It's related to a couple things. So when we breathe and shrug the shoulders, that's called a chest breath, right? So that kind of more shallow breath where we breathe through the top of our chest, our collarbones elevate, they lift up, our shoulders shrugs up a little bit, and it's that. And I'm exaggerating a little bit so you can see the movement. A lot of people get in the habit of breathing through their chest. It's a shallower breath. It tightens up. It's the opposite of when we encourage you guys to do a belly breath or a diaphragm breath, where we're trying to breathe outwards rather than upwards. Okay. Some of it also just has to do with, this is why I tell you guys, you don't want to, you can switch arms. You got to be cautious that your band, especially, and your weights are not too heavy in certain movements. And that's why I like to encourage you guys to have a variety of weights, or a lighter set and a heavier set. For example, if we put the band around our backs and we're doing a chest press, these are strong muscles doing this movement. If we take the same band and try to pull it apart, well, this is a long lever, smaller muscles. It's a lot harder to do this movement than this push-up movement. You should not have the same amount of weight or tension or resistance in those 2 movements. So anytime you're doing a movement, if it feels hard to do compared to other movements, you're either just a little bit weaker in that area, or we're using smaller muscles, and it is okay for it to feel harder. This movement should never feel as easy as this movement. Biomechanically, we're just super strong, okay? That'd be like trying to use the same weight for a bicep curl compared to standing up and sitting down. Way different muscle sizes, right? So that could be one reason. If you feel like your shoulders shrug a lot in your movements, the movement you're doing might have too much resistance. So again, we talked about pull it apart. If you have to struggle, your shoulders are going to lift up to try to give your body a bit of an advantage. Okay, to kind of reduce the amount of straining. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. And some people, we carry our, straighten the leg out. Different people carry their overall kind of stress in different spots on their body. It's really common for people to tighten up through their neck and shoulders. That's a really common reaction, is just the holding your stressors right through the shoulders. So people tend to either be more predisposed to have neck pain or lower back pain. Or tightness, overly tight, right? Hips or shoulders. Not often that it's super tight in both areas. Sometimes, but not always. What other questions do we have? Can switch legs.
Just wanted
Was
to
there-
say to Kathy that I did send you an email and I hope that you got it.
Trying to,
Perfect.
I will, I'll look, sorry, I'm bad with this muting and stuff. Thank you.
Awesome. 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 I did notice there was a question in the chat. So let's take a deep breath in with each other, and then I'm just gonna check the chat to see if I missed a question there. Together, put your hands wherever you want, doesn't matter, but we're gonna take a deep breath in. Slowly let it out. And shake it out. All right, let's see if I missed anything here in the chat. Yes, there was just questions about like specific exercises. So again, if anyone struggles with hernias and there's specific exercises that you're feeling it in, again, I'd just ask yourself, how much are you straining to do the movement, struggling to do the movement? Because the more of that strain or struggle is going to increase the amount of abdominal pressure, which is going to just push that hernia outwards. And how much, like, what is the positioning of your overall back, right? So there's different ways. Even if a sit to stand, if you're finding sit to stands like, oh man, that really flares up my hernia, well, that's a really tough movement to do. There's a lot of straining in that movement. You might just need to build your way up. So we start just pushing down through the feet rather than standing all the way up or standing part way up and back down. Okay. And really making sure you're not holding your breath. Balsina, if you have any further questions on that or like any specific exercises, it's kind of hard to get into. I'd really encourage you to go see a physiotherapist. They can really give you a really thorough assessment and a lot of one-on-one time to find a specific program for you. But if you have any questions about any specific exercise we do in class, how to adjust them, feel free to send me an email, okay? Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. Hope to see you all next week.
Thank you, Jill.
Enjoy the next couple of days.
You too.
Yay, sunshine.
Take care.
We'll do our best.
Sorry I was late.